Welcome to the Hired Not Fired podcast, brought to you by The Real Me, the soft skills first talent solution that helps employers hire entry-level employees with better developed soft skills such as communication, problem solving, or emotional intelligence. Join us as we sit down with hiring managers, talent leaders, and others and get insider tips to help Gen Z stand out and get hired. Let's dive in. Hi there. Welcome back to Hired Not Fired. I'm Dr. Deb Samuels-Peretz from The Real Me, and I have with me Cici Lyne from PTC, and she's going to continue to share some of her special, unique insights about what it takes to get hired at a company like PTC. Welcome back, Cici.
Thank you.
We have a unique opportunity here because you're a member of Gen Z. And I would love it if you would share a little bit about your journey. What was it like being a new grad and looking for that first job? And just tell us a little bit about your journey.
Absolutely. So, I guess to start off, my journey started when I was graduating college. It was pretty peak COVID. I graduated from Union College in 2021.
Wow.
I was a field hockey player there as well. So, I was definitely a little all over the map. My senior season had just gotten canceled. I was trying to figure out, what I wanted to do. And, my friends started getting jobs and I started to go into a little bit of a panic in terms of what I wanted to do. But I knew that I still had that, collegiate athlete mindset and time management skills. And it really naturally progressed me into my first job, which was an SDR role that I got upon graduation.
What's an SCR role for those who don't know?
Yeah, sales development representative at a smaller tech company here in Boston. And I absolutely loved it. I was an SDR for a while and then I was promoted into an account executive role. And it really taught me so much. And, I started to really love building relationships and connecting people with solutions. And really from there, that's what drew me to talent acquisition in my role now is really the relationship side of things and
Mhm.
the opportunity to hire and develop talent. So I kind of went from, selling products at my last company to selling a company now, which I love. And, a bonus part of my role is I did love sales and I do get to keep working closely with sales and building out
Mhm.
the BDR teams here. So I have a little bit of a unique perspective on it.
Mhm.
Um, so that's, put me in the position now where I'm running the 10-week summer intern program, recruiting for anything early careers, whether that be sales, rotational, or anything up and down between of that.
Wow. You mentioned that you were a student athlete. Do you think that that contributed at all to your skill set when applying for those first jobs, that first job?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, especially coming from a D3 school, I was, kind of almost like forced to figure out time management skills as a college student because there was no putting your sport first or even really school first or your social life. You kind of had to balance it on your own. And, you couldn't miss class for practice. You had to try to work your schedules around. So it really taught me a lot about time management skills and also just being competitive and playing sports. Obviously, that translates well to a sales position. You kind of have to be that self starter and, always be owning your own business to be your most successful self.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I really love how you shared how that contributes because I think student athletes really have a lot that they can use in an interview situation or on the resume to stand apart. It doesn't mean that those of you who aren't athletes can't, but having being a student athlete, it's a given. Go ahead and use that because I bet you have a lot of those concrete examples of your skills that you can use. And for just, for our listeners out there, if you're not an athlete, what clubs were you a part of? And if you're not a member of a club, go join one so that you can get some of that real world experience especially in person, right? Um, so, wow, graduating in the middle of COVID, that cannot have been easy. So, let me ask you, let's go back to PTC.
Mhm.
Do you want to share a little bit about what's the culture like there? What's it like being a new grad employee there?
Yeah, I feel so spoiled being able to work in this Seaport office. It's amazing. We have a bunch of floors here. Floors are mainly separated by the work you're doing. So, for example, I'm sitting with the HR side of things, but we also share this with legal, corporate strategy, executive. But what's really great about this office is it's all open floor seating. So we do have conference rooms if you need to get to a quiet spot, but this open floor seating really gets you connected and networking with a bunch of different folks, no matter what their seniority level is. And we also have a 17th floor, which is our top floor of the building,
Wow.
and that's a little bit different than the rest of them. We have a great cafeteria space. We have our corporate experience center where we have a lot of our customers uh, being showcased of how they're using PTC and a few success stories. We have a great roof. It's where we go for our monthly socials, which are usually put on by employee research groups, employee resource groups across PTC. And that's a really great time to kind of network,
Yeah.
maybe get away from your floor, meet someone new. Like I said prior, you never know who's going to be your boss. So you should always be talking with other people, being your most professional self again, and, using that time to network. We have a lot of internal mobility at PTC as well.
Well, that's really important to know, and I think people have heard from other episodes on the podcast how important it is to network, right? And
Hmm.
there's networking while you're looking for a job, but there's networking while you have the job, and you
Yeah,
just gave such a
absolutely.
great example of that. And I think what also is important is these are in-person opportunities. You just don't get the same opportunities to network when you're a remote employee. I know a lot of our listeners think they prefer a remote job. But I think for early career people, I think that being there in person is invaluable, not
Yeah.
just for the networking opportunities, that's probably number one, but also just the socializing, getting those soft skills. You know, the real me is all about the soft skills, but developing those soft skills, developing your networking skills just by being in what you were saying, that open concept office. And now you've got me wanting to get an invite to something on that top floor just so I can see the view. I love
Yeah,
the seaport. It's so beautiful there.
it is. I'm also a huge proponent on being in person. I love that the internship program majority in person. And,
Mhm.
PTC has one of our values is, be bold. And with so many executives around Boston, I love hearing stories about, an intern walking up to an executive and talking to them about their work and their meaningful project that they're working on. I really encourage them to talk to as many people. If you're riding the elevator with someone, spark up conversation. Those are great stories to hear.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Cece, for taking the time to share your personal experiences and letting us know about PTC and how job seekers and internship seekers can stand out and get noticed.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. This was great.